Hello my loves, welcome back to Healing from Toxic, or if this is your first time here, welcome for the first time. I know that it's been a minute since I got here and made a video. I have been so busy. Life has been hell for me. I'm not gonna get into details, I don't want to bore you with my life, but I am happy to be back. I'm happy to interact with you guys. I absolutely love helping other survivors navigate through this healing journey. Today I want to talk about hypervigilance. Today I want to talk about learning to trust ourselves after narcissistic abuse. I'm just going to share my experience and the things that helped me learn to trust myself after narcissistic abuse. Before I begin, I want to say that, you have been through a lot, okay? So the first step that you need to take is to be kind to yourself and understand that you are going to struggle. You're going to struggle when it comes down to trusting yourself and others once again. You need to understand that you are traumatized and that trusting yourself once again, 100%, is going to take time. And at the same time, it's going to take a little bit of effort. You need to be mindful that somebody else mind effed you. Somebody else mind effed you, and you're gonna have to undo that little by little, okay? So that's the first thing. Be kind to yourself. You're not crazy. You are traumatized. You are fearful, and you're going to be hyper vigilant, okay? That is completely normal. One thing that helped me a lot, and I think that most narcissistic abuse survivors do this, unknowingly, not purposely, is that we isolate. And for me, that was helpful because I really needed to get in touch with myself and learn to listen to my own voice. When you go through something like this and you are around a lot of people and you're constantly going out and you're constantly trying to avoid facing yourself and listening to your feelings, in my opinion, is going to be harder because you're listening to other people's voices and other people's wants and needs and opinions as to what you should be doing and shouldn't be doing. So for me, learning to trust myself again meant isolating, journaling, and getting in touch with my voice so that I can listen to myself. You're going to be fearful of a lot of people, if not all people. In my case, I wanted to keep everyone away from me because I did not trust anybody. Not only did I not trust them, I didn't trust myself, so I needed to get back to that. And another thing that helped me was that whenever I found myself overreacting towards friends, family members, or strangers in whatever interactions I did have, because unfortunately, we do have to have interactions with these people, with other people as we heal. I know I didn't want to have no interactions with anybody. I wanted to stay in my room and heal by myself. But in the real world, we're gonna have to get out, right? At some point. And I remember in the very beginning when I started to heal, I would have an attitude with people because I was so fearful and I felt like everyone around me could be an arc. I was so fearful and I was so, protective of myself and my feelings. And I felt like, everything was an attack, unfortunately. The very beginning, I felt like everyone was trying to attack me. And in those moments, I remember, after overreacting, of course, because you're going to overreact. You're going to be hypervigilant. But I remember asking myself, is this my trauma talking? Is this my fear talking? Or do I have a logical reason to be fearful of this person, to feel like this person is attacking me? And a lot of those times, going back to the situation, it was my fear. It was my anger towards the narcissist, towards the situation. My fear of feeling like this person is going to attack me or take advantage of me or belittle me. Are you like, it was crazy. It was insane how reactive I was towards others. I was very reactive. And that was because I didn't trust myself. I didn't trust them, but I didn't trust myself enough to understand, to process that they were not attacking me, that they did not mean to hurt me or, you know, make me feel any type of way. Because in my mind, I thought everything was an attack. So asking yourself the question, is this my trauma talking, or is this or do I have a logical reason to react that way? Asking yourself those questions as far as your relations to other people and your overreactive thinking, your overreactions is going to help. If for whatever reason you feel like you're so confused and you don't know if you're overreacting to certain situations or certain people, you can always go to a friend or a family member, somebody that you trust fully, and ask them, am I overreacting? Is there logic in my reaction? Or is this my trauma? And if you really trust that person, then they're going to tell you, you know what, you may be overreacting. You may be talking out of fear or trauma. That's the good thing about having at least one person who we fully trust. That's very important, because those people are going to help us along and tell us with love that, hey, you know, I think you took it too far. And sometimes, you know, we struggle with making decisions, everyday decisions, after that type of abuse. I know I did, like very little things, you know, like finding a company to cut my trees down. What company do I call? You know, am I knowledgeable for just little things? I remember just feeling so confused because my self-confidence was almost down to nothing, almost down, even though I didn't show it. I was very good at not showing it to him, especially. But I didn't trust myself to make decisions in my everyday life. And if you're struggling with that as well, you know, talk to a friend. Talk to a friend about it, or a therapist, or whomever, someone that can help you along and say, hey, you got this. You're on the right track. Or, you know, no, you may need help in that department. Whatever it may be, you can always, or you should always, go to somebody whom you trust to help you. That's what they're there for. The people that love you, that's what they're there for. Of course, if you trust them enough to do that. And I know that it can be difficult. I know that. I understand that. Before I wrap this video up, I want to let you guys know that it's very important. You probably already know this, but just to make this very clear, you have to be very careful with who you share your traumas with. Don't share your traumas with everybody, because some people will use your trauma against you, and they will manipulate you, and they will hurt you, and they will trigger you, and then say, that's your trauma talking. You haven't healed enough. You're overreacting. You don't know what you're talking about. You're so sensitive because of your past trauma. And they will wrap you all up again. And that will be a hot mess. Some people will do that. And then you will feel like, it is my trauma. I'm so traumatized that I can't think for myself. And other people will manipulate you and abuse you in that way all over again. So it's very important, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, that before you jump into another relationship, you have done your healing. You at least can trust yourself, your instincts, your gut, to know when a person is playing with you, trying to manipulate you, and they're shading you, and they're just doing those little things that narcs do. And sometimes they're not narcs, but they're toxic. Everyone who is toxic doesn't have to be a narc, okay? And I say this all the time. There's a lot of toxic people, bad people that are not narcs, but they're abusive and they're not good for you either, okay? So protect yourself, okay? Be kind to yourself. Give yourself grace. Give yourself time. It took me a year and a half, maybe 2 years, to get to a place where I fully trusted myself and was able to determine safe people and unsafe people 100% based on how they treated me. It takes time, okay? So be gentle to yourself. And that was my video for today. I love you guys. I will see you guys next time. Take care. Mwah.